In the next 50 minutes, you'll unlock a code that changes everything. The Ark of the Covenant doesn't just match Giza's coffer, it fits inside it perfectly. Antarctica wasn't icebound when ancient cartographers mapped it with impossible precision. And across every continent, separated by thousands of years, the same symbol appears in the hands of the gods. This isn't coincidence, this is testimony. Stay and reclaim what history tried to erase. They stand as sentinels of a forgotten age, their stones weathered by time yet unyielding to its passage. Monuments of impossible precision, rising from the earth as if called forth by voices we can no longer hear. Pyramids, not merely the towering giants of Egypt's Giza plateau, where 2.3 million blocks align to the stars with an accuracy that defies our modern tools, but a phenomenon that spans every continent, every corner of this ancient earth.
In every corner of the world, the same geometry rises, separated by oceans, yet united by purpose. These lines, these lights, they are no accident. They are the echoes of something far older than the civilizations we remember.
From the sun-scorched deserts of Sudan, where over 250 Nubian pyramids point to the heavens, to the emerald jungles of Mesoamerica, where the Maya and Aztec carved living calendars in stone. From the hidden valleys of China, where forbidden mounds guard secrets beneath the soil, to the contested hills of Bosnia, where a pyramid older than history itself challenges all we've been taught. These are not the works of isolated tribes bound by their lands and their time. They are the echoes of hands we cannot name, of minds that gazed upon the same stars we see tonight and understood them in ways we've forgotten.
Different peoples, different ages, yet the same sacred angles, the same obsession with the sky. When cultures who never met create identical monuments, there is only one conclusion. They were remembering something, something shared, something lost.
Why did these peoples, separated by vast oceans, by languages unspoken to one another, by thousands of years, craft the same sacred shape? Was it chance, a universal human urge to pile stone toward the sky? Or was it something far greater, a cosmic blueprint, etched not just in stone, but in the very soul of humanity?
Graham Hancock, in his daring work Fingerprints of the Gods, whispers of a lost civilization, one that wove its knowledge across the globe before a cataclysm erased its name.
Robert Bauval, with his Orion correlation theory, sees the pyramids as star maps, their layouts mirroring constellations like Orion's belt as they shone 12,500 years ago. And Thor Heyerdahl, the fearless Norwegian explorer, sailed ancient seas to prove that our ancestors were not bound by oceans. He even chased legends of red-haired, six-fingered giants to Azerbaijan, seeking the Aesir of Norse myth, a people he believed were more than gods.
Hancock saw the fingerprints. Bauval saw the stars. Heyerdahl followed the wind and waves, all different paths, all leading to one truth, that what we call ancient may not be the beginning at all, but the end of something far older.
What connects these builders? Were they guided by a shared vision, a teacher from the stars, or a memory of a world we've lost? Welcome to the Echoes of the Ancients. I'm your host, your guide through the mysteries that history dares not speak, the truths buried beneath sand, stone, and silence. This is our first journey together, a pilgrimage into the unknown. Today, we unravel the global pyramid phenomenon, a pattern that stretches from the sands of Giza to the ice of Antarctica, from the myths of the Anunnaki to the whispers of giants in Azerbaijan. We'll ask the questions that echo through time. What binds these ancient architects? Who or what guided their hands? And why do their creations still call to us, like a voice from beyond the veil of time, urging us to remember what we've forgotten? Join me, and let's listen to the echoes.
Every echo begins with a question, and every question leads us closer to a truth older than our oldest civilizations. The stones remember, the earth remembers, and if we listen carefully, we can remember too. Look closely. Each point of light is a doorway into the past. These monuments do not stand alone. They form a pattern. and patterns in ancient architecture are never meaningless.
Imagine a world before the history we know, a world before empires, before written words, before the boundaries of oceans and continents confined the human spirit. In this ancient, untamed earth, a single shape rises again and again, as if whispered into the dreams of builders who never crossed paths, never shared a tongue, never knew each other's existence. Pyramids. Not merely the iconic giants of Egypt's Giza plateau, but sacred structures scattered across every corner of the globe, from the sun-scorched deserts of Sudan to the emerald jungles of Mesoamerica, from the hidden valleys of China to the contested hills of Bosnia. These are not just monuments of stone. They are sentinels of a forgotten age, their weathered surfaces etched with a mystery that time itself cannot erase.
Different continents, different ages, yet they rise with the same purpose: to last, to speak, to endure beyond the fall of every kingdom that built around them. Only those who wish to be remembered build in this way.
Let's begin where most minds first wander, to Egypt, where the Great Pyramid of Giza stands as the grandest enigma of human endeavor. Constructed, we're told, around 2600 BCE for Pharaoh Khufu, it is a marvel of 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks, some as heavy as 80 tons, stacked with such precision that a razor blade cannot slip between their seams. Its base aligns to true north with an accuracy of 1/15 of a degree, a feat that would challenge modern surveyors without lasers and GPS. Yet Giza is but the beginning of this story. Travel south to Sudan, where the Kingdom of Kush, flourishing from 800 BCE, raised over 250 pyramids across the sands of Meroe, Jebel Barkal, and Nuri. These structures, smaller and steeper than their Egyptian cousins, share the same celestial obsession, their bases aligned to the stars of Orion and Sirius as if gazing upward to a cosmic map. Mainstream historians call them tombs, yet many stand empty, their purpose shrouded in silence.
Egypt, Sudan, two cultures separated by time, yet bound by the same sky. When structures align with Orion and Sirius again and again across civilizations that never met, you're not looking at coincidence, you're looking at a legacy.
Cross the Atlantic to Mesoamerica, where the Maya and Aztec crafted stepped pyramids that seem to echo Giza's precision in a different tongue. At Chichen Itza, the Pyramid of El Castillo, built around 800 CE, casts the shadow of a serpent during the equinox, a living calendar woven into stone that tracks the cycles of the Sun and Venus. At Teotihuacan, the Pyramid of the Sun, dated to 200 CE, spans a base nearly identical in size to Giza's, minus 230 meters across, its orientation mirroring the same stellar alignments. How could this be? How could a people thousands of miles from Egypt with no known contact replicate such scale and purpose? Further east in Nigeria's Nsute region, the Igbo people built 10 circular, stepped pyramids of clay and stone, dated to at least 1000 BCE. Rarely mentioned in Western scholarship, these structures resemble the ziggurats of Mesopotamia, their terraced forms hinting at a shared architectural language lost to time.
Across oceans, across ages, the serpent descends at Chichen Itza, just as celestial light once descended the flanks of Giza. And in Nigeria, earthen spirals rise like the earliest memories of mankind's first architects, echoes of Mesopotamia, echoes of something even older. For thousands of years, humanity has lifted its eyes to Orion, the celestial hunter, and across the earth, ancient builders carved that constellation into stone. Why Orion? Why the same 3 stars? Because this was not random creativity. This was remembrance.
In the vast tapestry of human history, 2 voices have dared to pull at the threads, unraveling a story far older and stranger than the one we've been taught. Graham Hancock and Robert Bauval, explorers of the mind, challengers of the status quo, have reshaped how we see the pyramids, not as isolated tombs of ancient kings, but as fragments of a cosmic puzzle left by a civilization whose name has been erased by time. Their work asks a question that echoes through the ages. What if the pyramids are far older, far more meaningful than we've ever dared to imagine? What if they are not the end of a story, but the beginning of one we've forgotten?
In every era, a few brave souls challenged the official story. Hancock and Bauval are among them. They saw what others refused to look at and listened to what the stones were already trying to say.
Graham Hancock, in his seminal 1995 work, Fingerprints of the Gods, casts a bold gaze across the globe, seeing in the pyramids evidence of a lost, advanced civilization that thrived before a cataclysm reshaped the earth. He points to the Younger Dryas event, a sudden and catastrophic climate shift around 12,800 years ago, marked by comet fragments striking the planet, melting glaciers and raising seas by hundreds of feet. Hancock argues that the pyramids, Giza's monumental precision, Sudan's star-aligned Nubian structures, Mesoamerica's celestial temples, were not the work of isolated cultures but the legacy of survivors, a people who carried sophisticated knowledge across continents before their world was swallowed by flood and fire. He sees these structures not as tombs, but as time capsules, built to preserve astronomical, mathematical, and spiritual wisdom for a future humanity, us. In a 2022 interview, Hancock doubled down, pointing to new discoveries. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a 11,600-year-old complex of carved pillars predating agriculture, and the underwater ruins off Japan's Yonaguni Island, where submerged megaliths hint at a civilization lost to rising seas. These, he says, are fingerprints of a forgotten people.
The Younger Dryas, the Great Flood, the Shattered World. If a civilization existed before that catastrophe, its survivors would have scattered across the globe. And what would they leave behind? Knowledge, geometry, star lore, and monuments built to endure fire, water, and time.
Robert Bauval, in his 1994 book The Orion Mystery, unveils a revelation that shakes the foundations of Egyptology. He shows that the three pyramids of Giza, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkora are not randomly placed but align with astonishing precision to the three stars of Orion's belt as they appeared in the sky in 10,500 BCE, not the 2500 BCE date Egyptologists assign to their construction. This Orion correlation theory suggests the Giza complex is a star map, a terrestrial reflection of the heavens.
When the pyramids match Orion exactly as it appeared in 10,500 BCE, you must ask yourself, who were they building for? And why encode a sky that existed 8,000 years before the pharaohs? The answer is simple. Because the memory of that sky mattered.
Bauval extends this vision beyond Egypt, seeing the same celestial blueprint in other ancient sites. In Mexico, the pyramids of Teotihuacan mirror Orion's belt, their layout echoing Giza's with uncanny accuracy. In Cambodia, the sprawling temples of Angkor Wat, built around 1150 CE, reflect the constellation Draco, their spires aligned to stars that guided ancient priests. Even Stonehenge tracks the solstices and lunar cycles with a precision that speaks of cosmic understanding. Bauval argues these sites are not isolated but part of a global network, a sacred grid designed by a people who saw the earth and sky as one.
A pattern repeated is never an accident. When Mexico mirrors Egypt, when Cambodia whispers the same star lore, you are looking at coordination, not coincidence. A memory carried across oceans long before our history admits sailors existed.
Together, Hancock and Bauval converge on a radical idea. The pyramids were built by survivors of a lost civilization, perhaps the Atlantis of ancient myth, who scattered across the globe after the Younger Dryas cataclysm, carrying their knowledge like embers from a dying fire. They propose that these structures, from Giza to Teotihuacan, from Sudan to China, were not random creations but deliberate markers, a network of sacred sites meant to preserve a cosmic wisdom that humanity was meant to inherit. Critics dismiss them as pseudoscientists, waving away their theories as speculation. Yet the evidence, mathematical ratios embedded in pyramid proportions, astronomical alignments that predate known cultures, geological traces of a global flood, grows harder to ignore. Why do so many ancient sites, separated by oceans and millennia, gaze upon the same stars? Why do their builders seem to wield knowledge we're only now piecing together with modern science?
Dismissal is easy, but numbers, alignment, and geology do not lie. When cultures separated by entire oceans use identical mathematics, someone taught them, someone who remembered a world before the flood.
And there's another thread in this tapestry, one that echoes the voyages of Thor Heyerdahl, who sailed primitive rafts to prove ancient peoples could cross oceans, sharing knowledge across continents. In his final years, Heyerdahl chased a wilder mystery in Azerbaijan, seeking evidence of red-haired, six-fingered giants, perhaps the Aesir of Norse mythology, a race he believed carried the seeds of this ancient wisdom. Could these giants, whispered of in myths from Polynesia to Scandinavia, be linked to the pyramid builders? We'll explore that soon, but for now, let Hancock and Bauval's vision linger. Their work is a call to question, to look up at the stars and down at the stones.
Heyerdahl saw what others overlooked, that myth often preserves history disguised as story. Red-haired giants, six-fingered beings, tales spread from the Pacific to the far north. When a myth appears across the world, it is no myth. It is testimony. Follow the stars, and they will guide you to the builders. Symbols across oceans, matching hands carved in stone. To dismiss these as coincidence is to underestimate the memory carved into the bones of our species. When two distant peoples tell the same story with the same icons, something ancient once connected them.
If a global civilization once wove its knowledge across the continents, defying the barriers of oceans and time, how did its wisdom travel? How did the builders of pyramids, from Egypt's star-aligned Giza to Mesoamerica's celestial temples, share a vision so precise, so profound? One man, a Norwegian explorer with a heart as vast as the seas he sailed, spent his life chasing that answer. His name was Thor Heyerdahl, and he dared to believe that the ancients were not prisoners of their lands, but masters of the waves, seafarers who crossed oceans millennia before Columbus ever dreamed of new worlds. Heyerdahl's life was a rebellion against the idea of isolation, a quest to prove that the threads of human history were woven together by voyages long forgotten, voyages that carried the seeds of a lost civilization's knowledge to every corner of the earth.
Modern scholars once insisted these oceans were walls, but to the ancients, the oceans were highways, rivers of wind and current. A raft is not a limitation, it is a passport.
In 1947, Heyerdahl embarked on his most famous journey, building the Kon-Tiki, a simple raft of balsa logs, lashed together with hemp ropes modeled after ancient Peruvian designs. With a small crew, he sailed 4,300 miles across the Pacific, from Peru to the Polynesian Islands, proving that ancient mariners could have bridged the Americas to the Pacific long before modern ships. His journey was more than a stunt. It was a challenge to the dogma that ancient peoples were confined by geography. On Easter Island, where he arrived years later, Heyerdahl uncovered oral traditions that spoke of the long ears, a mysterious race of red-haired, white-skinned giants with 6 fingers said to have carved the island's towering Moai statues. These beings, according to the Rapa Nui people, came from a distant land, ruled the island with advanced knowledge, and then vanished, leaving their stone sentinels to guard the sea. The Moai, some weighing 80 tons, were moved across miles of rugged terrain. How, we still don't fully understand. Could these giants, whispered of in Polynesian lore, have carried the same architectural secrets that raised pyramids in Egypt and Mexico?
When the same descriptions of giants appear in Polynesia, South America, the Middle East, and Scandinavia, we must ask ourselves if these are memories, not metaphors. Red hair, elongated ears, 6 fingers, a genetic marker found in remains across multiple continents. These are not random details, these are signatures.
Heyerdahl's curiosity was insatiable. His expeditions took him to the Maldives, where he found coral pyramids and petroglyphs echoing the sun worship of ancient Egypt. In Peru, he explored the megalithic ruins of Chavín de Huántar, where carvings of serpents and jaguars mirrored Mesoamerican motifs. In the Canary Islands, he uncovered stepped pyramids called Guimar, aligned to the solstices, their designs hauntingly similar to those of Teotihuacan and Chichen Itza. Everywhere he went, Heyerdahl saw patterns, shared symbols, shared stories of sun gods who brought knowledge and then departed. These discoveries echoed the theories of Graham Hancock and Robert Bauval, who see pyramids as relics of a lost civilization, its survivors scattering across the globe after a cataclysm. Heyerdahl's voyages suggested a mechanism, ancient mariners sailing on reed boats or rafts, carrying the blueprints of pyramids and the wisdom of the stars from one shore to another.
When symbols repeat across oceans, from the Maldives to Peru, from the Canary Islands to Mesoamerica, you are not looking at coincidence, you are looking at a shared inheritance, the fingerprints of teachers whose names history has swallowed.
But Heyerdahl's final quest, begun in the 1990s, was his most ambitious and his most enigmatic. He traveled to Azerbaijan, near the Caspian Sea, to a place called Gobustan, a UNESCO World Heritage Site where ancient petroglyphs cover rocky hills like an open book of prehistory. There, he excavated carvings of ships with curved prows, sun symbols, and tall humanoid figures, some with 6 fingers, hauntingly reminiscent of Easter Island's long ears. Heyerdahl proposed a radical theory detailed in his 2001 book, The Search for Odin. He believed the Norse gods, the Aesir, led by Odin, were not mere myths but a real people, a tall, advanced race of seafarers, possibly giants, who migrated from the Black Sea region to Scandinavia thousands of years ago. In Gobustan's burial mounds and rock art, he saw evidence of a proto-Nordic culture, one that might have carried pyramid-building knowledge from Central Asia to Europe and beyond. He theorized that Odin was no god, but a historical king, a leader whose lineage connected to a global seafaring network that linked the old world to the new.
Gobustan is a time capsule. Those petroglyphs, those 6-fingered figures, they bridge legends separated by half the world. Easter Island remembers them, Azerbaijan remembers them, and Norse myth remembers them. The idea that Odin was a real leader is not as outrageous as it seems. Ancient texts, rock art, and oral histories all point to a migration of tall, advanced seafarers long before the Viking Age.
Heyerdahl's work in Azerbaijan was cut short by his death in 2002, but his findings left a question that burns like a torch in the darkness. Were these 6-fingered giants, whispered of in myths from Polynesia to Scandinavia, the descendants of a lost race? Were they the architects of the pyramids, the teachers who guided humanity's first great builders? Or were they something more? Beings who carried a cosmic wisdom, a knowledge of stars and stone that we see reflected in the sacred grid proposed by Hancock and Bauval. We'll return to Heyerdahl's chase for these giants in a future episode, diving deeper into the mysteries of Azerbaijan and the Aesir. For now, let his vision linger. A world where oceans were not barriers but highways, where the knowledge of a lost civilization sailed on fragile rafts, from the sands of Egypt to the cliffs of Easter Island, binding humanity in a story we've yet to fully understand.
When the same beings appear in the memories of the Polynesians, the Norse, the tribes of the Americas, and the myths of the Middle East, we are dealing not with fantasy but with fragments of a shared truth. If these beings truly walked among early humanity, they may have been the bridge between earthbound cultures and the knowledge of the stars. Follow the ships, follow the symbols, and the road leads always to the same horizon. A forgotten age where giants may have taught the first architects to speak the language of stone and sky. Across worlds that never met, across deserts, jungles, mountains, the same object appears in the hands of the gods. A bag, a vessel, a symbol, its meaning forgotten, its presence unmistakable.
Across the ages, in every corner of the ancient world, a single story echoes through the myths of those who built the pyramids. A tale that binds them across oceans and millennia. It is a story of divine teachers, beings who descended from the heavens or rose from the seas to gift humanity with the sparks of civilization, fire, writing, astronomy, and the secrets of stone. These are not mere legends, but threads in a tapestry that stretches from the sands of Mesopotamia to the jungles of Mesoamerica, from the highlands of Peru to the starlit plains of Africa. Each culture, each pyramid-building people speaks of gods who came, who taught, and who vanished, leaving behind monuments and mysteries that still whisper their presence. What were these beings? Were they metaphors for human ingenuity, or something far stranger? Teachers from a lost age, or perhaps from beyond the stars?
When cultures separated by entire oceans describe the same beings with the same gifts, arriving from the sky or the sea, we must ask, who were these teachers really? They bring knowledge, they shapeshift, they vanish, leaving only architecture and myth as their footprints.
In ancient Sumer, where the ziggurats rose like stairways to the heavens, the clay tablets of the Enuma Elish tell of the Anunnaki, those who from heaven to earth came. These towering beings, led by Enki, the god of wisdom, are said to have engineered humanity itself, shaping us from clay to serve as laborers in their divine mission. Enki, often depicted with serpents coiling around his form, carries symbols of knowledge and creation, serpents that modern minds might see as echoes of DNA, the very code of life. Across the Atlantic in Mesoamerica, the Maya and Aztec revered Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, a god who descended from the sky to teach astronomy, mathematics, and the laws that bound their societies. His temples, like Chichen Itza's El Castillo, align with the cycles of Venus, a testament to a knowledge that feels almost otherworldly. In Peru, the creator god Viracocha emerged from the sacred waters of Lake Titicaca, walking among the people to build the megalithic wonders of Tiwanaku, stones so massive and precisely cut that they defy explanation. Before vanishing across the Pacific, he promised to return, leaving behind a legacy carved in andesite and myth.
Enki, Quetzalcoatl, Viracocha, different names, different continents. Same archetype, a tall being of knowledge arriving suddenly, rewriting human destiny. The serpent, whether feathered, aquatic, or celestial, is not a symbol of evil in ancient myth. It is a symbol of creation, of wisdom, of the spiral of life itself.
Further north in the arid lands of West Africa, the Dogon tribe of Mali speak of the Nomo, amphibious beings who descended from the star Sirius in a vessel of light. These celestial teachers gifted the Dogon knowledge of the cosmos, details about Sirius B, a dwarf star invisible to the naked eye, only confirmed by modern telescopes in the 19th century. How could a people without instruments know such things? And in the cold reaches of Scandinavia, the Norse myths tell of the Aesir, led by Odin, who descended from Asgard to teach runes, warfare, and the secrets of the cosmos. Thor Heyerdahl, the fearless explorer who sailed ancient seas, believed these Aesir were no gods but a real people, perhaps giants, whose traces he sought in Azerbaijan's petroglyphs, where six-fingered figures hint at a forgotten race. His voyages from the Kon-Tiki to the Caspian Sea suggest these divine teachers might have sailed the world, carrying their wisdom across oceans.
The Dogon did not guess. They described the weight, the orbit, the density of Sirius B centuries before our instruments even imagined it. Knowledge without tools is the signature of a teacher. From Mali's desert to Norway's frost, the same story returns. A descending people, luminous, wise, shaping cultures as effortlessly as wind-shaped sand.
One symbol unites these disparate myths, a cryptic emblem carved into the stone of every pyramid-building culture, the handbag of the gods. At Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, 11,600 years old and predating all known civilizations, T-shaped pillars bear this strange rectangular object with a curved handle. In Sumerian reliefs, the Anunnaki clutch it tightly, their eyes fixed on the heavens. In Mexico, Olmec statues hold it, their colossal heads gazing across jungles. In ancient Indian temples, faded paintings show gods with the same mysterious bag. Even in Egypt, where the Ankh and staff dominate, similar motifs appear in temple carvings. What was this object? A tool of creation. A power source, as Graham Hancock speculates in Fingerprints of the Gods, perhaps a seed vault or a device to harness energies we've yet to rediscover.
Robert Bauval in the Orion Mystery sees it as a celestial marker, a symbol tied to Orion's belt and the cosmic order that guided the pyramid builders. Its presence across cultures, Sumer, Mesoamerica, Africa, India, screams of a shared origin, a common thread woven by hands that knew the same secrets.
When the same artifact appears in Turkey, Sumer, Mexico, India, Egypt, we are no longer looking at art. We are looking at memory. Some call it a bag, some call it a container, but in every culture it is held the same way. Forward, purposeful, as if it carries something vital. Perhaps it held seeds, perhaps it held energy, perhaps it held knowledge itself, distilled, protected, passed from one world to the next.
Hancock suggests these handbags represent a lost technology, a relic of a civilization that understood vibration, energy, or even consciousness in ways we're only now exploring through quantum physics. Bauval ties them to the stars, arguing they symbolize a connection to the cosmic blueprint that aligns pyramids from Giza to Teotihuacan. Could they be linked to the sacred grid they propose, a network of sites designed to preserve a wisdom older than history? Heyerdahl's discoveries of shared symbols in Polynesia, Peru, and Azerbaijan hint that these gods, or their human emissaries, sailed the world carrying this enigmatic artifact. Were they teachers, as the myths claim? Were they survivors of a cataclysm, as Hancock and Bauval believe, scattering their knowledge before it was lost? Or were they something else, beings from beyond whose legacy lingers in the stones and stories they left behind? As we trace their symbols across the earth, one question burns brighter than the rest. What truth do these divine teachers still hold, waiting for us to uncover?
Call it a bag, a vessel, a device. The shape does not matter. What matters is repetition. Repetition across epochs, across worlds, across civilizations that should never have known one another. A symbol repeated is a message preserved. Hancock is right to look to vibration. Bauval is right to look to the stars. For the ancients saw no difference. Energy and cosmos were the same language. When symbols travel farther than armies, farther than merchants, farther than time itself, we must ask who carried them and why. Two relics, two continents, two chambers of unimaginable sanctity, and yet one shape, one size, one design, as if the blueprint belonged not to men, but to a forgotten order of knowledge.
Now, let us plunge into one of the strangest and most tantalizing mysteries of all, a connection that bridges continents, faiths, and millennia, whispering of secrets that defy the boundaries of history. In the ancient city of Aksum, Ethiopia, nestled among weathered obelisks and forgotten pyramids, a small chapel stands, guarded by monks who dedicate their lives to its protection, never stepping beyond its sacred walls. Within, they claim, rests the Ark of the Covenant, the biblical chest of gold and acacia wood, said to carry the very power of the divine. Described in the book of Exodus, its dimensions are precise: 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, 1.5 cubits high, a vessel crafted to hold the tablets of the Ten Commandments, crowned with cherubim whose wings touch the heavens. Now, journey thousands of miles north to Egypt, to the heart of the Great Pyramid of Giza, where another enigma awaits. Deep within the king's chamber lies a granite coffer, hewn from a single block of Aswan granite, its measurements eerily identical: 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, 1.5 cubits high. Coincidence or something far more profound?
Identical dimensions are never an accident, not when separated by deserts, seas, and thousands of years, not when both objects were treated as vessels of power, containers of something sacred or dangerous. The Ark was said to channel the voice of God. The coffer at Giza resonates at a frequency of 111 hertz, a tone associated with energy, healing, and transformation. Two vessels, one purpose: to hold what the ancients feared and revered.
This coffer, carved with a precision that defies the bronze tools of its supposed builders, is no ordinary box. Its surfaces, polished to a mirror-like finish, gleam as if touched by an otherworldly hand. Its edges are cut so flawlessly that modern engineers marvel at the skill required. A mastery that seems impossible for the 26th century BCE, when Egyptologists claimed the pyramid was built. When struck, the coffer resonates at 111 Hz, a frequency modern science associates with meditation, healing, and altered states of consciousness, as if it were designed to hum with the pulse of the universe itself. Yet, within this enigmatic vessel, no mummy was ever found. No inscriptions adorn its walls. No treasures or royal remains fill its hollow core. Just an empty space, silent and waiting, as if crafted for a purpose we've yet to comprehend. Could this coffer, nestled in the heart of the world's most iconic pyramid, be linked to the Ark of the Covenant, guarded so fiercely in Ethiopia's ancient city?
Precision is a language, and the coffer speaks it fluently. Angles too perfect for copper chisels, polish too smooth for sand abrasion, a resonance too deliberate for chance. This is craftsmanship meant for function, not ceremony. An empty box in a chamber of power. Silence where we expect royalty, absence where we expect wealth. Sometimes what is not there reveals more than what is.
Graham Hancock, in his 1992 book The Sign and the Seal, dares to propose a radical idea. The Ark was no mere religious relic, but a technological device, a creation of a lost civilization that harnessed energies we're only beginning to understand. Hancock traces its journey through history, from the temples of Egypt to the highlands of Ethiopia, suggesting it was once housed in the Great Pyramid's king's chamber, a power source or sacred artifact for a people whose knowledge rivaled our own. He points to ancient texts like the Ethiopian Kebra Nagast, which claims the Ark was brought to Aksum by Menelik I, son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, a journey that binds the mysteries of Egypt to the sacred sites of Ethiopia. Robert Bauval, co-author of the Orion Mystery, adds another layer, arguing that the Great Pyramid's internal chambers, including the King's Chamber, were designed as a resonance machine. The coffer's acoustic properties, he suggests, were no accident but part of a system to amplify energy or consciousness, perhaps channeling the same cosmic forces that aligned the pyramid to Orion's belt in 10,500 BCE. Together, they paint a picture of the pyramid not as a tomb, but as a temple for a divine technology, a place where the Ark, or something like it, once rested, its power reverberating through stone and time.
Hancock's path is controversial, yet the clues he follows are very real. The Kebra Nagast, Egyptian temple lore, and Ethiopia's unwavering guardians all tell the same story. The Ark moved, and it mattered. And Bauval is correct. The king's chamber is not silent. Its stone sings, its geometry amplifies. Its coffer resonates like an ancient tuning fork designed to awaken something within the human spirit. If the Ark rested there, it was not for burial, but activation.
Aksum itself is a land of enigmas. Its towering obelisks, some reaching 100 feet, rival the precision of Egypt's monuments, while its smaller pyramids echo the steep angles of Sudan's Nubian structures. Why does this ancient kingdom, a crossroads of African and Middle Eastern cultures, guard the Ark's secret so fiercely? Why do its monks, sworn to silence, protect a relic that matches the Giza coffer's dimensions with such uncanny precision? Could the Ark and the coffer be two pieces of the same puzzle, artifacts of a civilization that Hancock and Bauval believe was lost to a cataclysm 12,800 years ago? Thor Heyerdahl, whose voyages proved ancient peoples could cross oceans, might have seen Aksum as a node in a global network, a place where seafarers carried knowledge from Egypt to Ethiopia, perhaps even bringing the Ark itself. His later quest in Azerbaijan, chasing six-fingered giants tied to the Norse Aesir, hints at a broader web of connection, one that links the pyramid builders to the myths of divine teachers.
Aksum is not merely ancient, it is deliberate. Every obelisk aligned, every pyramid angled, every stone placed with a mathematical confidence that suggests inherited knowledge, not isolated genius. The monks are not guarding a myth, they are guarding continuity, a lineage of power preserved in silence, a knowledge too potent to parade before the world. When measurements match across continents, the odds of coincidence collapse. The Ark, the coffer, two vessels, one purpose.
What was the Ark and what was the coffer meant to hold? Were they vessels for a sacred relic, a technology that harnessed the Earth's energies, or a bridge to the divine? Why does Axum, with its pyramids and obelisks, stand as a guardian of this mystery, its secrets locked behind chapel doors? As we trace this connection from Giza's silent chamber to Ethiopia's sacred ground, one question lingers like a whisper in the dark. Was the Great Pyramid a temple for a power we've forgotten, a power that still hums beneath the stones, waiting for us to listen?
A vessel is defined by what it protects, and these two vessels, one of granite, one of gold, seem built for something alive, something radiant, something the ancients feared as much as they revered. Axum keeps watch. Egypt built the chamber. And between them stretches a corridor of forgotten science, an artery of power connecting two civilizations that should never have shared blueprints, yet did. If the Great Pyramid still hums, then something is still sleeping inside it.
Picture a world on the edge of oblivion, a world where the skies burned and the earth trembled, where the very foundations of life were swept away in a single shattering moment. Some 12,800 years ago, in the twilight of the last ice age, a cataclysm reshaped our planet, leaving scars in stone and memory that still haunt us today. This was the Younger Dryas event, a sudden and catastrophic climate shift that plunged the Earth into chaos. Geologists like Randall Carlson, with meticulous research into sediment layers and impact craters, point to evidence of a comet or a swarm of fragments slamming into the planet around 10,800 BCE. The impact unleashed a chain of devastation. Glaciers that had stood for millennia melted in torrents, sending floods roaring across continents. Sea levels rose by as much as 400 feet, swallowing coastlines and islands whole, and entire ecosystems collapsed, claiming megafauna like mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant sloths in a wave of extinction. This was no mere climate blip. It was a reckoning, a reset of the world's clock, a moment when a golden age was swept away, leaving only whispers in the stones.
Civilizations do not simply vanish. They are erased by fire, by water, by time. But this was different. This was surgical, swift, unforgiving. If a culture stood at the threshold of greatness, if they mapped the heavens, carved stone like butter, or stored their knowledge in temples of frequency, this cataclysm would have shattered them beyond recognition. And in the silence that followed, only fragments remained, a pillar half buried, a myth half remembered, a star alignment preserved in the architecture of survivors who could not forget what the sky had once done to them.
Every ancient culture tells of this deluge, as if the memory of the catastrophe was etched into the soul of humanity. In the Bible, Noah built an ark to survive a flood sent by divine wrath, a story of survival against a world-drowning tide. In Sumer, the Epic of Gilgamesh speaks of Utnapishtim, chosen by the gods to preserve life as waters consumed the earth. The Mayan Popol Vuh recounts a great inundation that ended an earlier age of creation, leaving the survivors to rebuild under the gaze of new gods. In India's Vedic Mahabharata, the sage Manu is warned of a deluge, guiding humanity to safety on a boat towed by a divine fish. From the Andes to the Pacific Islands, from ancient China to the Aboriginal Dreamtime, the story is the same. A great flood, a cleansing of the world, a loss of a time when humanity walked closer to the divine. These are not mere myths, but echoes of a shared trauma, a collective memory of a civilization that vanished beneath the waves.
Humanity remembers in symbols what it cannot bear to speak aloud. Across continents, across millennia, the same terror resurfaces. Water rising higher than mountains, skies burning, a silence after the storm so deep it swallowed an entire age. These stories are not coincidences. They are warnings carved into the human spirit. They are fragments of a chapter torn from our history. A chapter the pyramids were built to preserve.
Graham Hancock, in his seminal Fingerprints of the Gods, argues that this cataclysm marked the end of a global civilization, one whose knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and architecture rivaled our own. He believes the pyramid builders, those who raised Giza, Teotihuacan, and Sudan's Nubian structures, were survivors of this lost world, scattering across continents to preserve their wisdom in stone. These pyramids, he suggests, were not tombs, but beacons, time capsules built to endure the ages, carrying the secrets of a people who knew the stars and the earth in ways we're only now rediscovering. Robert Bauval, in The Orion Mystery, takes this further, proposing that the pyramids were recovery vaults, designed to safeguard cosmic knowledge for a post-cataclysm humanity. The Giza complex, aligned to Orion's belt as it appeared in 10,500 BCE, was a map of the heavens, a guide for a world reborn from chaos. From Chichen Itza's equinox serpent to Angkor Wat's Draco-aligned spires, these structures, Bauval argues, form a sacred grid, a network of wisdom meant to guide us back to what was lost.
Stone endures where memory fails, and when the oceans rose to erase the world before ours, the survivors carved their knowledge into monuments that could outlast the tides of time. Follow the stones, and you follow the last footprints of the civilization the flood tried to erase.
And then there's Antarctica, a frozen enigma at the edge of the world. Ancient maps like the Piri Reis map of 1513, compiled from even older sources, depict an ice-free Antarctica with startling accuracy, rivers, mountains, and coastlines matching modern surveys, yet drawn centuries before the continent was rediscovered. The Orontius Finaeus map of 1531 and the Boache map of 1739 echo this anomaly, showing a land green and thriving, free of the ice that now buries it 2 miles deep. Could Antarctica, once temperate, have been home to a pre-flood civilization, a hub of the lost world Hancock and Bauval describe? Why else would a continent charted long before modern exploration appear so vividly in ancient cartography? What lies beneath its ice? Ruins, perhaps, or relics of a people who built pyramids and gazed at the same stars as Giza's architects. Today, Antarctica remains one of the most restricted places on Earth, its secrets guarded by more than just ice.
Centuries before we possessed satellites, before we knew the shape of our world, someone mapped Antarctica with a precision we still struggle to explain. These maps, these fragments, are whispers of a memory older than the ice itself. And when ice returns where forests once stood, it does not erase what lies beneath. It only hides it, waiting for the right eyes to seek the truth.
Thor Heyerdahl, who sailed the seas to prove ancient peoples were connected, might have seen Antarctica as a distant node in his global network, a place where seafarers carried knowledge before the flood erased their world. His final quest in Azerbaijan, chasing 6-fingered giants tied to the Norse Aesir, hints at a race that survived the deluge, carrying fragments of this lost wisdom. Could the pyramids from Giza to Aksum be their legacy, a warning of the cataclysm or a promise of rebirth? As we trace the scars of the younger Dryas from drowned coastlines to ancient flood myths, one question burns brighter than the comet that changed it all. What lies hidden in the stones and ice, waiting for us to remember?
When the world drowned, not all knowledge perished. Some fled to the mountains, some to islands, and perhaps some to the farthest reaches of the earth, where ice would one day lock their secrets in a tomb of silence. Do not fear the unknown beneath Antarctica. Fear what it may reveal about the world we thought we understood.
As we stand before the pyramids, their silent stones towering over deserts, jungles, and mountains, we are confronted with a mystery that hums beneath their surfaces, a whisper of knowledge so advanced it feels almost alien. These are not mere monuments, piled by brute force or primitive hands. They are testaments to a mastery we're only beginning to rediscover, a technology woven into their very design, precise, purposeful, and far beyond what we've been told the ancients could achieve. From the Andes to Egypt, from Malta to Peru, the relics of a lost age suggest a civilization that understood the secrets of sound, vibration, and perhaps the very fabric of the cosmos. Could these builders, whose works defy time, have wielded powers we're only now glimpsing through the lens of modern science? Could their pyramids and megaliths be machines, not of metal but of stone and resonance, built to connect humanity to the stars?
Across the world, the oldest stones appear not carved but coaxed, shaped with a precision that bronze chisels cannot explain. At Pumapunku, the H-blocks are so exact that modern engineers whisper of machining, yet these stones predate the Inca by millennia. They bear grooves and drill holes that suggest tools we have never recovered, or perhaps tools made of something other than metal. And listen carefully, many of these sites are not silent. They sing. In Malta's Hypogeum, a simple human voice resonates at 111 hertz. The same frequency found in the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid. This is no coincidence. These chambers amplify sound in ways that affect the body, the mind, perhaps even consciousness itself. The builders understood acoustics on a level we only rediscovered with modern physics.
In Bolivia's high Andes, the ruins of Pumapunku stand as a riddle carved in stone. Andesite blocks, harder than granite, are cut with such micron-level precision that modern engineers marvel at their perfection. Internal angles, sharp as a blade, fit together like a cosmic puzzle, while drill holes, spaced with machine-like accuracy, pierce the stone as if crafted by a CNC machine. These blocks, some weighing up to 100 tons, were shaped and moved in an era when, according to mainstream history, the locals wielded only copper tools, tools too soft to carve such unforgiving stone. In Egypt's Serapeum, deep beneath the sands of Saqqara, another enigma awaits. Massive granite boxes, each weighing 70 tons or more, polished to a mirror finish that reflects torchlight like a still lake. Their surfaces, smooth to the touch, bear no trace of tool marks, no evidence of the bronze chisels we're told carved them. These sarcophagi, built around 2500 BCE, were supposedly tombs for sacred bulls, yet their precision and scale suggest a purpose far grander, as if they were vessels for a power we've yet to comprehend.
Pumapunku is not merely a ruin, it is a statement. A declaration of skills so precise that even our engineers pause in reverence. When stone behaves like metal, when angles behave like mathematics incarnate, we must ask, who taught these ancient hands to command such mastery? And the Serapeum? The Serapeum is a chamber of impossibilities. Those granite boxes are so perfect, so astoundingly smooth, that even diamond-tipped tools struggle to replicate their polish. If bronze chisels made them, then bronze was a miracle beyond metallurgy.
Christopher Dunn, in his groundbreaking 1998 book, The Giza Power Plant, proposes a radical idea. The Great Pyramid of Giza was not a tomb, but a machine, a structure designed to harness acoustic resonance or piezoelectric energy. The king's chamber, lined with rose granite, rich in quartz, resonates at specific frequencies when struck, particularly 111 Hz, a tone modern science links to meditation and altered states of consciousness. Dunn suggests the pyramid's chambers and shafts were engineered to amplify vibrations, perhaps generating energy or facilitating a connection to the cosmos. This idea finds echoes elsewhere. In Malta, the Hypogeum of Hal Saflieni, a subterranean temple carved 5,000 years ago, amplifies sound in its oracle chamber, creating acoustics that induce trance-like states, as if designed to bridge the human mind to something greater. In Peru, the stones of Machu Picchu, fitted so tightly a blade cannot pass between them, hum faintly when struck, their vibrations lingering like a whisper from the earth itself.
Dunn did not claim the pyramids glowed with lightning. He claimed something far more subtle, far more elegant. That stone itself, when chosen with intent, can become a conduit for energy, for resonance, for a form of engineering that does not rely on wires or wheels. The Hypogeum's oracle chamber is perhaps the greatest clue. Here a single voice becomes a symphony, echoing, layering, vibrating through bone and blood. This is not decoration, this is design. And Machu Picchu, those humming stones, they remind us that the ancients did not build on the earth. They built with it. Every vibration, every frequency, every resonance all part of a forgotten dialogue between stone and sky.
Could the ancients have used sound to shape and move stone, as some researchers propose? Legends from Egypt to Peru speak of priests chanting or using sacred instruments to lift megaliths, a technique mirrored in modern experiments with acoustic levitation, where sound waves can suspend small objects in mid-air. Could they have harnessed vibration to heal, as studies on 111 Hz suggest, or to connect with cosmic forces, aligning their structures to Orion's belt, as Robert Bauval argues in The Orion Mystery? Graham Hancock, in Fingerprints of the Gods, sees these feats as evidence of a lost civilization, one that understood frequency and vibration in ways we're only now exploring through quantum physics and cymatics, the science of visible sound. The patterns of cymatics, where sound shapes sand into intricate geometries, mirror the sacred ratios found in pyramids worldwide, from Giza's golden ratio to Teotihuacan's Fibonacci sequences. Were these structures built to resonate with the Earth's own frequencies, or with the stars above?
In every ancient legend where stone sings, there lies a memory of a time when sound was not merely heard, it was used. Used to lift, to carve, to heal, to sanctify. These are not metaphors. They are the final echoes of a science we no longer possess. And consider this, acoustic levitation is not fantasy. In laboratories today, droplets and grains of sand float effortlessly on waves of sound. If we, with all our technology, can make matter dance, why do we assume the ancients could not?
Thor Heyerdahl, who sailed ancient seas to prove the connectivity of ancient peoples, might have seen these technologies as part of a global network carried by seafarers from one pyramid-building culture to another. His final quest in Azerbaijan, chasing six-fingered giants tied to the Norse Aesir, suggests a race that wielded such knowledge, perhaps passing it to the builders of Pumapunku, Giza, and Machu Picchu. Hancock and Bauval propose these sites were recovery vaults, preserving the wisdom of a civilization lost to the younger Dryas Cataclysm. But what if they were more? Machines of stone tuned to the cosmos, designed to awaken something within us. As we trace the hum of these ancient stones, from Bolivia's highlands to Egypt's deserts, one question resonates louder than the rest. What power did these builders wield, and what secrets do their creations still hold, waiting for us to listen?
A pyramid is not simply a pile of stone. It is an instrument, a resonator, a geometric tuning fork aligned to the pulse of the earth and the rhythm of the heavens. Heyerdahl's giants, the Aesir, if such beings existed, they may not have been giants in stature alone. They may have been giants in knowledge, custodians of a science built not on metal but on frequency, geometry, and intention. These structures, Pumapunku, Giza, the Hypogeum, they do not merely stand, they vibrate, they respond, they remember, and they wait for those who can hear their song once more.
As we stand in the shadow of the pyramids, their ancient stones towering over deserts, jungles, and forgotten valleys, we hear more than silence. These are not mere relics of a distant past, not just piles of rock shaped by hands long gone. They are a language carved in granite and limestone, speaking across millennia. They are a memory etched into the earth itself, humming with the vibrations of a time when humanity, or those who guided us, knew the secrets of the stars, the pulse of the planet, and the hidden depths of the soul. The pyramids, from Giza's star-aligned giants to the hidden mounds of Xi'an, from Sudan's Nubian sentinels to Bosnia's contested hills, are not the end of a story. They are the beginning of remembering, a call to awaken to a truth we've forgotten, a truth that whispers through the ages, urging us to listen.
Those stones, they do not merely stand, they speak. Their shadows stretch across time itself, reminding us that memory can be carved into the earth just as surely as it can be etched into the human soul.
Graham Hancock and Robert Bauval, those fearless explorers of the mind, ask us to cast aside the textbooks, to question the tidy narratives that confine the pyramids to tombs and kings. In Fingerprints of the Gods, Hancock sees them as time capsules built by survivors of a lost civilization that perished in the Younger Dryas Cataclysm 12,800 years ago, their knowledge scattered like seeds across the globe. Boval, in the Orion Mystery, reveals their cosmic design, a sacred grid mapping Orion's belt as it shone in 10,500 BCE, linking Giza to Teotihuacan, Angkor Wat to Stonehenge. These are not random monuments, they argue, but a network of wisdom, a blueprint for a world reborn from chaos. Their voices challenge us to look beyond the surface, to see the pyramids as more than stone, as vessels of a cosmic legacy, waiting for us to decipher their code.
Hancock invites us to remember a chapter of our past that was torn from the pages. Boval shows us the map that chapter left behind, a map written in stars and built in stone. Together they remind us that ancient hands may have carried a wisdom we are only beginning to rediscover.
Thor Heyerdahl, the seafarer who defied oceans on fragile rafts, reminds us that the ancients were not bound by the seas that separate us today. His Kon-Tiki voyage proved that ancient mariners could have carried the secrets of pyramid building from Peru to Polynesia, from Egypt to the Canary Islands. In his final years, he chased a wilder truth in Azerbaijan, seeking six-fingered giants tied to the Norse Aesir, a people he believed were not gods but real, perhaps the very architects of this global knowledge. The myths of these giants, of red-haired beings who walked Easter Island's shores, echo the stories of divine teachers, the Anunnaki of Sumer, Quetzalcoatl of the Maya, the Nomo of the Dogon, who brought astronomy, architecture, and wisdom to a fledgling humanity. These tales, woven with floods and cataclysms, whisper of a truth we've buried beneath layers of time, a civilization that knew the stars, that harnessed sound to move stone, that built machines of granite to resonate with the cosmos.
These myths are not fantasies. They are survivors, fragments of a truth carried across oceans, across generations, across the very edge of forgetting. Listen closely, and you will hear the same voice in every legend, a voice urging us to remember who we once were.
At the echoes of the ancients, we follow these clues, tracing the threads that bind the red-haired giants of Easter Island to the ice-bound mysteries of Antarctica, where ancient maps like Piri Reis hint at a green land lost to history. We seek the wisdom carved in the Anunnaki's clay tablets, the power guarded in Axum's chapel, where the Ark of the Covenant, matching Giza's coffer in every measure, lies hidden. This journey is not the end of the story, but the beginning of remembering, a pilgrimage to reclaim what was lost in the flood, in the fire, in the ice. The pyramids are calling, their vibrations humming through the ages, urging us to listen, to question, to awaken.
Follow these threads closely, for they are not merely clues, but echoes, faint memories of a world that once stood far older, far wiser than the one we know. The giants, the maps, the relics, they are footprints in the dark, and each step draws us nearer to the truth forgotten by time.
In our next episode, we set sail with Thor Heyerdahl, chasing the red-haired, six-fingered giants of legend from the windswept cliffs of Easter Island to the ancient petroglyphs of Azerbaijan. Was he uncovering the Aesir, a real people who shaped the ancient world, carrying the secrets of the pyramids across oceans? Subscribe to the Echoes of the Ancients and join us as we unravel the mysteries that history dares not speak. The past is not silent. It's calling, its voice echoing through stone and starlight. Will you answer? Share your thoughts below. What do you believe the pyramids were truly for? Tombs, temples, or something far greater? Let's uncover the truth together.
Remember, the past is not gone, it sleeps. And when we listen, truly listen, its voice rises like a tide. The question is not whether the ancients left us messages, but whether we still have the courage to hear them.